It's not $369.
I don't know what the first one that I bought was $100. Not the James on the first two.
It's really cool if you crack them. Send them back and they fix it for free.
He made a couple of
I
adjustments.
got to send one back. I ran over it with the car. I got one exactly like this, only black. Then I have the one with the ruby.
And when you do the new business,
Well,
just like usually it's more just all discussion.
okay.
And then you're okay with it all.
So, yeah.
You're not approving the budgets until Thursday.
Okay.
And then it's going to have to be a session.
No.
And then it takes a while,
No kidding.
about 60 seconds.
That traffic's not.
Not 100%. The track is fixed, yes. Obviously the painting and taping and
That's all
sanding
okay.
is still being worked
It's all
on.
left as a painting.
Yep, yep. Almost complete. But you can see the doors, you can see the doors significantly higher off the floor.
Yes.
Okay, I'd like to call the Mchenry Township Special Board Meeting of March 29th to order at 6:30 p.m. We have the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk, take the roll, please.
Supervisor Barla,
I am here.
trustees Yeager, absent. Macredo, here. Shepler,
Here.
and Benedict.
I'm sorry.
Benedict.
Here. No.
Sorry, it's translated on here.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, the next thing on the docket is any public comment. It doesn't appear as though we have any. So we'll move on to new business. I will make a motion. We review the budgets and have an update discussion regarding the upcoming budget allocation hearings later on this week. So I made the motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Shepler will second.
Discussion.
Yeah, all those in favor of,
You don't need that.
you don't need it?
No,
Okay.
you just need to go to discussion now.
Okay.
You opened it up.
Yep. So, discussion. Mr. Conlon, would you like to review the highway budgets first?
Sure.
Okay.
Let's start with permanent hard road. The meeting tonight, because we got some, our funds were less than what we originally thought.
Correct.
But as far as the permanent hard road, we're still pretty solvent. We're still pretty good. And not much has changed there. We adjusted the numbers per the information from the county as far as what we would receive from taxes. So if anybody has any questions there, I'm glad to answer them, but that's the permanent hard road. Nothing really changed very much. So we're good. The upside to that, and I didn't change it, but the upside to that is we have our road program that we estimated at about $900,000. It came in at less than $800,000 right now, but we're going to leave it where it's at in the budget for $900,000, just simply because in case things come up or we want to add something to it, we're okay to do that. But, so at the end of the year, when you see the amount we have left, it probably will be $100,000 more than that. So we should be good on the permanent hard road.
Jim, are you saying 738,000 is what you're figuring in? Am I
sorry,
understanding you?
He's talking about this number.
Okay, good, so I'm trying to follow the number.
Yeah, it'll vary approximately $100,000 more, probably
Right.
possibly more than that,
Right.
to be honest with you, but generally that's pretty
Okay.
close. Only because, again, the biggest thing that we see right now, the one thing that we know, that's a set thing, is the amount for the road and bridge, or not the road and bridge, the road program this year. We had estimated 900,000 based on the engineer's estimate and a little extra, and it came in less than 800,000, so we should be good. Okay?
Thank you.
And then moving to the general road and bridge. There's not much. The only thing that we've changed here really is the numbers from the county, actual numbers that we'll receive from the taxes. And that's about it. Some other minor adjustments, but that's it. Glad to answer any questions you have about that.
You comfortable with this budget, Jim?
Yeah, actually, I think that this gives us a little room for maneuvering, and I hope that we, when we get to the end of the year, we'll actually have probably, I would hope, about $100,000 left at the end of the year. Cross my fingers, as long as not too many trucks break. So, yeah, I think it'll work out well. It's unfortunate. We have a big challenge, to be honest with you, between now and when we get our first tax payment. Our big challenge is having enough funding for our general road and bridge. But I wouldn't be surprised if we're okay with that. We have enough to get through April, and then May, I think we might get through that too, with a little creative accounting. So.
Not sure what you mean, but okay.
So, let me just explain real quick. We don't have a lot of money in reserves at the end of the year here. And as a result, we don't get the majority of our money until June. But our budget starts in April. So basically, we spend somewhere between, I would guess, about $80,000 a month in general road and bridge. We have $100,000 in reserve. That means that we don't have enough to get through April and May until we get to June, when we get our first payment of our real estate taxes. So, but I think we'll find a way to get through May. But I know we can get through April. The challenge is halfway through April, we'll know where we sit as far as some other funding sources that we have. IGAs, where we get, we get our money from snow plowing for other municipalities. We get, there's a couple other things that come into play that will hopefully carry us enough to get through May. If not, we'll figure out how to get through. That's what we do. So, and then at the end of this year, hopefully we'll have a little more reserves than the 20,000
So that we
or
can
so
get
that we
through and start
estimate.
building.
Yeah. So. That's ours. Any questions?
I don't have any. I've been very well briefed on what's going on there, so I'm good. Let's move on to the town fund. I'll let you go over it, but in general, I'll just give a quick synopsis. So we had, as Jim did, obviously the amount that we levied for, there was approximately, what was it, $78,000 or $68,000 less in revenues coming from the levy. So we had to make adjustments in the town fund and GA in regards to that. So We also found a small revenue increase, and Debbie will go over that. But we were also able to go through and shore up some numbers because there was
Thank you,
more.
Jim.
Thanks, Jim. There was some more time available with budget, or with bills being paid and getting more accurate accounts and things of that nature. So at the end of the day, we were actually able to pull out $78,000 roughly in expenses. So we'll let Debbie go through that.
All right, if you go to page 1 where you have your revenue, you'll see you have the accurate numbers. This is all through March 25th. Okay, these are the most current numbers as of March 25th. And now we have the actual that we're gonna get from the county on the property tax. We increased the Illinois replacement tax, just based on what we received this past year. I only increased it to $27,000, but we did increase it. We've increased our athletic fees because that is steadily going up, as you can see. And then we also increased the Whispering Hills rental fees because that has increased based on last year's numbers. And then that would be it for the revenues. And just based on that, we were able to increase by $7,200 from what you guys had on your third draft.
So as
That
you're-
makes sense.
So as you're trying to follow along in that far right-hand column, the numbers that look white in this photocopy appear to be the numbers that are
shaded.
shaded, that appear to be.
Sorry, I did not put
yeah.
it in color, guys.
That's okay, that's good, we save money.
True. That was.
That'll give you a roadmap to what's changed on each page, kind of.
If I may, we were in a meeting last night. I can bring it up, I can. Sure. That's
Budget
Terry.
discussion.
Terry actually thinks that our athletic field fees will be higher than what's shown on the graph here, but chose not to show it because we're not sure it's gonna really happen yet.
It's all money. You want to base it based on what you're run in prior year, because depending upon weather and there's all kinds of different things that can come into play. You don't want to make it too much higher, even though you may anticipate what you're gonna have if you have perfect days.
And I was just letting you know that Terry actually has projected higher than that, which is fine. It's in our favor.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
But you have that same thing like with the replacement tax.
Right.
All right, any questions on the revenue page? All right, now I'm gonna go to administration.
Sorry, I do have one more on the first page.
Go ahead.
City of West Grants,
Yes,
where do we stand?
we have 20,000 and we will have our first payment in April.
Have we heard from Northeastern Illinois yet?
We will not be getting Northeastern Illinois this year.
What happened?
They never received our letter of intent, we found out today. It was sent to the wrong email address.
Okay.
All right, any other questions on the revenue page? All right, we'll move to page 2, the administration. There's a change in salaries. All right, so we reduced the overall administration budget by $38,830. You will see that the change was in salaries and in IMRF and in health insurance. And then the only other change, I believe, I'm double checking, on the administration part, and then that would be the capital and contingency that were changed, and we were able to reduce it by $3,800, $830.
38,830, correct.
Correct. Any questions on that? And the reason we were able to do that is that we've changed how we're going to, we have 2 full-time, a part-timer with no benefits in the 2 splits.
How's that going to affect the coverage of the front desk?
The coverage at the front desk, we only have Denise in there for 3 months. She will be leaving. We have that noted. And then we will have a part-timer up there.
Denise is full-time.
Correct. That's why we were able to reduce.
So are we covering the full-time hours is the question.
No, we are not. That was taken out. That was in there before because we didn't know she would be leaving in June.
Yeah.
So instead of replacing a full-timer, we're gonna go with the part-timer.
We can do something different up front.
Yes.
That's all.
All right, any other questions on the admin? No questions? All right, let's go to page 4, that's Senior Express. Senior Express actually went up $29.69, and that is in the, we had the wrong number in Social Security and in IMRF. That was just a miscalculation or mistype, so when you'll see the numbers lower than it was last year, which is correct, but we had an error on Social Security Medicare. So that number basically stayed the same. And in the assessor's office, we'll go to the next page, page 5. The Assessors Department, she was able to save $35,436. We went over a couple numbers, and the only ones that we changed were salaries, and that she is not going to be hiring her part-timer. But the number also changed based on the IMRF was changed and the insurance. So overall, we were able to save another $35,436.
Because we didn't hire a part-timer.
She's not hiring a part-timer, correct. And we were able to change the IMRF and the insurance due to the rates.
Rate changes.
Yeah, there were rate changes. All right, any questions on that department?
Your 2 people hired?
Pardon?
Did you get your 2 people hired?
Yes.
Good.
Very good.
All right, page 7 on the parks. We were able to reduce that by 14,000, and that is in salary and in health insurance and IMRF. And you'll notice that the number on salary looks higher than it was on the last budget, and that's because we missed a person. This is why we double check the numbers before we get them out. But overall, there was a decrease by 14,000. And we reduced capital. I think we had 6,000 in there before, and now we only have 2,500, 3,500.
Where's it at?
Huh?
Where's the capital at?
Capital's on page 8. Went from 6,000 to 2,500. All right. So that's pretty much for the town budget. Then we have the GA budget, which is page 9. And that one is the only one that increased, and we increased that just based on the emergency assistance, and that we have the ability to do that. And then the salary and IMRF changed in the health insurance based on the new rates. So overall, if you have no questions, we reduced the budget by 78,700 from the third draft to the fourth draft here. So we, at the end of the day, we should have 5.5 months reserve at the end of next year and 10 months in GA, which means we've increased it by 1 month in GA and a half a month in
I have a question going back to parks.
yeah.
I see ball field repair, $2,500.
Yep, that's the one second field that we didn't
That's
do.
something, I thought we had no projects on.
That's the only one we have that's left over from
Well,
last
we
year.
talked to, last night, he said he had no projects on board.
I'll have to talk to Terry.
He said he had no projects on board.
I don't know what that project is. Yeah.
That's just doing that second field that we had on there from last year. It's the only thing we didn't
I
do
don't
this
remember
year.
what the repair was.
It's not like it's large money, it's just,
No, they were doing one field at a time and there was one more left to be done. It's just a leftover. Otherwise, there's no projects. We have no capital projects at all in the town. Everything is just to maintain.
so the
We could
capital
try and get
outlay,
by.
that's right, that's what I thought. So the capital outlay I see for $2,500, that's what that is?
Yeah.
For the fields?
Yep, that's it.
The other projects in this year's budget? Whispering Hills?
Yes, they've all been, all the materials have been paid for.
Okay.
As far as the labor going up there, just to put the stoops in and things.
Yeah, right.
That's
It's in
all
this
they gotta
year's-
do,
last year's
yeah.
budget, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, all the materials are paid for.
All right, any other questions on the town budget? No? No? All right. And this is what will be presented at the budget and appropriation hearing on Thursday.
Okay, the next item, well, I guess there's no actions to be taken for new business, so nothing happens there, I guess, correct? And then executive session, I don't think we really need one of those. And then, what?
We need a vote on that,
Any board comments?
Vote on which one?
on the review.
There's no
action to be
There's no
taken.
action.
It was just a review.
Right.
The next thing.
There's
that
nothing to vote on.
Yeah, there's nothing to vote on. The next action, or the next thing that happens is already in motion. It's the meetings on the 35th, yeah. Yeah, no, we're not approving anything this evening. And then board member comments?
It's really not related to this particular budget, but we did get $8,700 from Home Depot
Yep.
to build on the gardens. We did spend $4,000 of that this morning on the planters, just so you know. At our regular board meeting, I'll have pictures of what the new planters look like, et cetera, et cetera.
That's very exciting.
It's for 20 beds.
Pardon me? Motion to adjourn.
Motion.
I'll second it.
So there's a motion to adjourn at 6:52. And John seconded it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting is closed. Thank you, Mary, for coming.
Good job on the budget.
I appreciate it.
So helpful.
No, I